All right, folks, y'all have heard from her before because this lady right here, Coach Mary Welch. Coach Mary, you remember the last time we talked, you was talking about, I didn't know my worth at all. I didn't know my worth.
Yeah,
How
that's
you doing?
true.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's going fine. Thank you.
Business growing?
It is business growing, new ideas. It's everything is all good. It's all good.
Are you having fun?
I am. And that's the key.
That's the
That's the
key in it.
key.
That's the
That's the
key in it.
key. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is for
Coach
sure.
Mary, we just finished a coaching call and you said you ready to do another what? What type project you ready to work on again?
Oh my goodness. This is brand new. I'm doing a
Well,
subscription service.
you're doing a
Mhm.
subscription service. Okay, okay. Tell me about the subscription service.
The subscription is well. The first, let me just say this first. Before I started this, I first had to have the my. I started email lists. Let me say that first. I started the list with about 150 people, something like that, and
Mhm.
now it's over 12,000. But it
Uh-huh.
took a while. So this email, it's about I say 4 years of
Uh-huh.
just adding people.
Uh-huh.
When I go to events, things like that. But now the list trusts my information, and I believe they're trusting me. So it
Mhm.
took, and now that I have that trust factor, now I can start a subscription service, and the goal is to launch that in the next 30 days. And um, the value of it is $84 a month, but
Mhm.
but anybody that signs up, the only pay the monthly fee is say $12 a month, something that everybody can afford.
And
Mhm.
not even have to think about, right?
Don't even think about it. Exactly.
That is awesome.
But
How does
mhm.
someone find you if they want to find your show? What's the name of your show? Where can they find you?
Okay. If you're going to YouTube, I'm actually on YouTube, LinkedIn. I'm on X or Twitter, and I'm also on Facebook. But the title of the show is The Mary D Talk Show, and I'm live every Monday from 1 to 2. But even if you don't come to the live show, you can go to YouTube and and you can see any of the tape shows. I always keep them up, good or bad. That's what I always say.
Ah, ah, ah.
They always stay up no matter what. I feel like, you know what? I'm being authentic and honest. And if it's something that gets messed up, it's okay. It's all right. But yeah, but you can always catch me there. I ask people if you would subscribe to the show, if you would share the show. It really is appreciated.
Beautiful,
So,
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I want to check that out. You definitely want to check out the
yeah,
Mary Welch show. Coach Mary, you mentioned that you're ready to do another anthology.
correct.
Would this be your
Mhm.
second or third one? Or tell me which one have how many of these you
This
have?
is the second one. This will be the
Second.
second one. Uh huh.
Tell me
Yes.
about your success with your first anthology. Tell me about it. How did that work? And tell me, why did you do an anthology?
You know, to be honest with you, it was your class. That was when I heard about it and I thought about it and I said, well, I knew I've been working with writers
Mhm,
and I thought it was a good idea. And
mhm,
that's really it was coming to your class. It was Coach Rosie, and
mhm,
she had talked about her success with it.
mhm.
Now, I'll be honest, my success did not match her success, but that's okay. This is what I've learned. You have to start somewhere. Don't some people don't start because they're afraid of failing and they never start. I've learned you have to start. And even if you do fail, so what? We have this thing about that's a bad thing or something like that. But I know Nelson Mandela, what he said was, you never fail, you only learn. So that's how I look at life too, is that we're always learning. But when I did it, I did okay. I mean, I thought I probably should have done better, but that's okay. I made about 8,000, and then I profited 4,000 from it because I did hire editors, and I wanted to make sure that the book was, looked a certain way and pay for the cover, all these things. But it was still a very good learning experience, and I would do it again. I would definitely do it
How
again.
many people did you have in the project?
I had 12.
12 people, 10, 11, 12 people.
Hmm.
And of the 12 people, you generated $8,000 in revenue.
I did. Hmm.
8,000 revenue and made a clear profit of 4.
Correct.
That's pretty good. And now you're ready to do another one.
I am, but I want to. This is what I had to learn too, and I'm sure you have learned the same thing, Dr. Jones. I have to stay focused. So right now, I'm doing the launch on the subscription, and then I can go to the anthology because I have a bad habit of putting too much on my plate. So I had to learn that just stay focused on this one, until I finish this launch, and then I can work on the anthology.
So,
So.
so, so good. How you been
Mhm.
coming along with your worth? How you feeling about your worth? Since
Oh my goodness. Can you hear the difference?
I
I
definitely can hear the
I
difference.
know. I don't even know how to express. I mean, I am publishing my sixth children's book. The title of that one is When I Was on the Moon, and it's my first book that has a little black girl on the cover. So almost all of them have little black boys, which is nothing wrong with that because that's what we have, sons. But it was still, I knew that I was missing a demographic, and that's the girls. So this one has a little girl on the cover, and it'll be coming out soon too. But when I tell you, my husband teases me. He said, "You don't get out of the bed in the morning. You jump out of the bed in the morning."
Ah,
Because I get so happy about doing what I want to do. That's really what it is. And that's where the happiness comes. You get to choose what you want to do. So
wow.
yeah. Mhm.
How did you get there? How did you get to this point of jumping out of the bed in the morning? Come on.
I
Back-
just doing what makes you happy. That's the key. All of the things I do, whether it's the YouTube show, whether it's writing children's books, I've taken classes, I've learned how to write screenplays. So I'm writing a movie right now. All of these things make me happy. And because of that, it just makes me smile. It doesn't matter which one I'm doing. I just thank God that I was able to get here and that I trusted God enough because I retired from education. I did not have a whole, have the blueprint for retirement, not at all. So when I literally walked away, in essence, I trusted that when I heard the word from the Lord that said, trust me, that was God. When I tell you I had not written a book, I had not even written a paragraph. I didn't even know I could write. So all of this has come from that. And I retired in 2012. And I did not start writing until 5 years after I retired. So it was a while. It wasn't overnight. People think it was overnight because especially my friends. My friends, many of them still work, which is nothing wrong with that. I applaud them. Sometimes when the money gets low, I think maybe I should have stayed on the job. But no, I would not give this up for anything. I would not. It is such. I don't even know how to express the word. I don't have the words to express what it feels like. Sometimes I'm working 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have to remind myself your time is your time. If you work all night or all sleep all day, there is no time for you to it's whatever you want to do and however you want to do it. That has changed my reality because I've been working since I was 15.
What part has hiring a coach had to do with this? What part of me being your coach and us working
Right.
together, how has that impacted the life that you're now living?
I would tell anybody if you whatever it is you want to do, you need a coach. And I say that because you have cut my learning curve significantly, Dr. Jones. I didn't have to go through, trying to figure things out. You were so instrumental. And as you know, and I often tell you, the very first show I did on YouTube, you were my guest. You were my guest because that was my way of honoring you and saying, Dr. Jones, you've affected not just my life, my family's life. From the very first book I published, 8 family members have now published books. Think about that. So that's 8 family. That's not just me. Now these 8 family, including 2 sons, have published also, and then their cousins, and then I have other family members that have published. I look at that. Before I published, none of them had published. So that in itself is telling. They look at me as being a grandmother. It's like, well, she's a grandmother. If she can write a book, I know I can write a book. But they've affected their children. This is literally generational. Their children are looking at all of us and like, wow, you guys are published authors. our lives are forever changed from this. And it really tells you what one person can do to change so many lives. I have friends now that have published books. And they've even said it to me. I've looked at you and saw like, she's published all these books. How does she do this? There's a sense of awe about it. True enough, I've had to come up with the story, but at the same time, they can't believe that one person can come up with all these ideas. But there's so many more ideas I have, Dr. Charles. So many more. So yeah.
Coach Mary, talk to me about your list. Why is it important for someone who's wanting to be a coach or a speaker or a consultant? They want to build an online business. How
Yes.
important is it for them to grow their list?
It's huge because I would say, and you're on the list, Dr. Jones is on my list, and that you're creating it's a relationship. What happens is, even though it's so interesting, I go places now, people literally, and I put my picture at the bottom. I just started that about a year ago. I'm so glad I did. People literally now come up to me. They want my autograph. It's like, are you Mary D. Welch? Are you the one that's sending these emails? I want to thank you for that. Because many people I've never met for the most part. But it's so rewarding to get that feedback, even for me. My husband laughs kind of. He's like, he'll hear people come up, but he gets the list too. He gets the email, so he sees them. But you have a connection. I can't build a connection with everybody that's on the East Coast. The list goes all around the country. And I'm going to give you this really short story, but a true one.
Take your time.
My,
Take your time.
okay, my sister-in-law lives in Atlanta, and this happened about 2 years ago. And she said she was at work. She works for the VA in Atlanta. And someone came into her office and put a paper on her desk and said, you should read this. And she didn't even think anything of it. She said she didn't even really look at it right then. Then a few minutes went by and she picked it up and she looked at it and she read it. And at the bottom, it said Mary D. Welch. She said she screamed because she could not believe that this person had an email, printed it up, put it on her desk, and she went out and asked them, where did you get this from? And she said, my cousin in LA sent it to the cousin in Chicago, sent it to the cousin in Washington, D.C., sent it to the cousin in Atlanta. When my cousin called me, it was like 7:30 in the morning, our time. And she said, Mary, I just want to let you know, you have no idea the reach that those emails have. You really don't know. And she said, I just need to let you know that you're affecting people all over this country. And you will never know, because once that email leaves, I have no way of knowing. But at the top of every single email I send, I say, please share. But I have no way of tracking how far that email is really going. So even though the list is so many thousand, what she's telling me, it's going further than what you even imagine. So I'm just going by the names on the list. She said it's going a lot further than that. So just so you know. So I would say your reach, and then remember too, I'm from the generation, we opened emails and read them. And I know social media is really big and I understand that, but my generation, they may or may not do social media. I have friends right now that don't even have a Facebook account. They don't even want anything to do with social media. So, but guess what? They read those emails. So I've learned there's more than one way to communicate with people. Don't be so social media that you forget that emails still work. The texting list that I have, the text list has over 4,500 people. So every time I hit that text, 4,500 people receive that. I don't text, I only text maybe once a week. You don't get hardly anything compared to the emails, in my opinion. You get more value from the emails than you ever do from the texting. And if anybody here would like to get on the email list, I can tell you how to do that. You can go to,
Tell them.
okay, you go to marydwelch.com. That's my website. And you can get on the email list there. And
Wow.
everything, almost all my brand is Mary D. Welch. It's definitely, my kids tease me about that. They're like, Mom, you're a brand. Just by yourself, you've created a brand.
How did you zone in on Mary D. Welch being your brand? Because there's been it's been a while since you got that level
Yeah.
of clarity. How did you come into that?
Because I don't know if you knew this, Dr. J. It took me a while to come up with Mary D. Welch.
Mm-hmm.
It took about a month of trying to figure out what do I want to be known as, because I was going to go with Mary Davis Welch. I was going to hyphenate it. I was so many different things. And then I have my middle name, and then I was going to put two middle names together. It took easily 30 days for me to say, okay, finally I settled on Mary D. Welch. But I realized I had to settle on it. It wasn't anybody else that did it. And then that's what I write under everything. That's the brand, Mary D. Welch. It took a while though. It wasn't overnight. I can tell you, it was not overnight. Well, none of this has been overnight. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Coach Mary D. Welch, talk to
Yes.
me about resilience. How do you keep going? How do you keep showing up? Talk to that person who's watching us right now and they're like, oh,
Okay.
I'm about ready to quit. Oh, this is driving me crazy. Oh, I don't know what to do. Talk to me about resilience. What keeps you going?
This is what I would tell anybody. Even when you get down, I call it fuel. Even when I think, oh, is this really worth it? Sometimes I do go through that, but I can tell you right now, it's rare because I'm so happy to be able to make the books or write the screenplays or all the different, just to be alive to do it. That's what makes me happy, because I could have left this earth and never done any of these things. So just knowing you have an opportunity, you really live in a dream, is what it is. And being able to leave these, when I'm gone, those books will still be there. They'll still be there for not for generations to read. And I own all of them. I have the copyright on all of them. So they're there for my family. I've never sold any of them. So I'm leaving them a legacy. So for me, and then when you get negative, it's so funny. Sometimes people go on my book and they'll, on Amazon, and they'll leave a negative comment. And my sons told me, they're like, Mom, you have haters. Mom, you're doing good because you got haters. And I said, what? They're like, think about this. That person took time out of their life to hate on you. That means you're doing good. Because, and this is what I tell people, if they say, I've heard people say negative comments, and I go, okay, let me see your book. Let me see your book. I have yet to meet anybody that has one. It's easy to complain. It's easy to do that. It's another thing to create. And being creative to me, it's a gift from God. It's a gift from God. Just to be able to ideas to come to you and you to create a book from that idea, that's huge. And I get them every day, by the way. They come to me from, I can watch TV and an idea will come to me. I can listen to a podcast, an idea will come. There's so many, there's no one place that they come from. They come from everywhere. So I would tell anybody, if you want to write a book, write it and stop talking about it. I hear people day in, oh, I have this idea for this book. And I just sit there and I go, and that book is going right in that graveyard with you because you never took the time to write it down. You have to write it down. You have to keep taking the steps. And you know this too, Dr. Jones. What we're doing is not a miracle, but it looks like it's a miracle to people who haven't done it. But the truth is, what we're doing, we're taking step one, step two, step three. That's all we're doing. And then we finish the book and publish it. But so many people will not take that first step. I always say, God will help you. If you take one step, God will take two. But if you're not willing to take that one step, He's not going to take those two steps either. So you got to take at least one step and write your story down. Just write it down. That's all.
Coach Mary D. Welch, this is so phenomenal. I mean, I thought we were just going to be talking for a few minutes. This has been so good. I'll ask you one more. I'll ask you one more.
Okay.
Talk to me
Mm-hmm.
about impact that your obedience
Mm.
to live out your passion has had and is having upon your family. Talk to me about the obedience of you retiring, doing exactly what you want to do, have the Mary D. Welch show, doing radio, media, playwriting, children's books writing. You're a producer, you're a promoter, you are your personality. You have established a personal brand. So talk to me about how the impact of you establishing the personal brand of Mary D. Welch, how has this affected your family?
Wow. Um, I don't think any of us will be the same from this. My husband included, my kids, because in addition, as you know, writing the movies, I work on sets. I'm an assistant to the casting director now. My life doesn't even look the same. It doesn't. As far as I literally travel all over the country. It's just different. It's different, I think, because I was willing to take the chance. That's really what I think it was. They've heard the stories. My sons are, and the story. I don't even know if I've shared that one with you, Dr. Jones. How my principal tried to get me to stay at the school, and she told me to stay 5 more years. And I'll never forget that day. And I'm at the door to her office trying to leave, and she yells my name. And she said, "What if you do all this, Mary, and you find nothing?" Think about what she's saying to me. That what she was saying, I'm leaving, what she told me, you're leaving a good job, good benefits, all of that, and you go out here and you find nothing. And I turned to her, not knowing any of the things I do now. And I said, her name was Christine. I said, "Christine, at least I will know. I can go to my grave knowing I tried. But if I don't leave, and if I don't, because I knew in my heart, if I stayed, I will never know." But I did tell her this also. I said, we only have so much time on this earth. We don't get to stay indefinitely. And I need to find out if there's something else I need to do. I need to let God have room to show me. But for 5 years, I'll be the first to tell you, I was fumbling around. I didn't know. I didn't even know I could write. I didn't know anything. And when I found out I could, it was almost like it felt like the heavens opened up. That's what it felt like to me. Like, wow, this was in me all this time and I didn't know it. I didn't know I could write children's books. I have friends that have written books. I mean, tons of friends are authors. Not one of them had a children's book. Think about this. And they always tell me the same thing. They're like, "Mary, how did you get into children's books?" I said, "God, God. I didn't know I could write children's books. I didn't know I could write any book, much less a children's book." So I would tell anybody, if you're feeling that I call it umption, trust it. Just trust. I'm not saying leave your job, okay? I never tell people leave their jobs, but I will tell you to find a way to follow through on that. Because sometimes I think God is pushing us in directions, but we don't recognize that's what it is. We don't know that's what it is. The very first story I wrote is called A Cake Shook. I wrote that story. I read it to my granddaughter the next day, and she started laughing. And I'm like, "Oh my God, she's laughing at my words." And when I finished the story, she turned to me and she said, "Nana, can you write a story about me?" I didn't even know how I wrote that story, but I've been writing ever since. So that doesn't have to be your path, but maybe your path could be cooking. It could be whatever it is, right? A songwriter. It could be whatever it is that makes your heart sing. Do it. Do it. And nobody can tell you what that is, by the way. You have to find it out for yourself.
When did the pursuit of passion and purpose
Mm-hmm.
become bigger than the pay?
I,
When did the
oh,
pursuit
that's it.
of your passion and your
Mm-hmm.
purpose become bigger than the money you got paid? Because I think I can just feel that you've
Yeah,
shifted. What you're doing is bigger than money. Am I right? Have I,
it
am I?
is. It is. My sons tease me about that too. They're like, "Mom, the money is insignificant to you. It's not that you don't want to make money, but you want to get that creativeness out of you of get your books out. That's more, not that I don't want money. I don't want to sound like that.
Right.
But just to be able to do that, it means so much more to me to be able to have these books and have children read them. When I see a child read my book, it makes me want to cry. And I have neighbors that have little children, which is so, every time I have a book, I always go over to them. And the kids sit down and they read my books. They read it to me. And to see a child read your words and to see them get the joy in their heart from those words, I can't even explain it. I don't even have the words to explain it. I really don't, because it means so much to me. And it's probably too, as an educator, to see children read. Because when my children were growing up, I would read to them. That was the one. They even talk about that now. That was the favorite thing. They were going to get a story at night and get a kiss goodnight every night. They knew, and they talk about it. They said that was something they look forward to. So I would tell anybody, it's not that you don't follow. This is what I believe. The money will come. Let me say that. Don't worry about it. It will come. Because think about all these entertainers. They were doing this before they even got paid. They've been doing it. They will even tell you they would do it if they didn't get paid. That's how much they love what they do. That's when life, to me, comes alive. When you love it so much. And really think about it, Dr. Jones. Even though you coach, we can never pay you for all of the coaching you give us. It really is impossible to really pay you for all the knowledge you have given to all of us. It's just impossible to do that because you love it. You love watching us grow, and see, that's your love. That's a love. That coaching is what you do, but your love is who you are. And you go, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. But what you're really saying, you want us to get it. You want us so bad to get it. You want it more for us than we want it for ourselves.
Mhm.
That's huge. That's huge. And that really is love. That's what it is.
Coach Mary, anything you want to
Oh,
share that I hadn't
I
asked?
lost my earbud. Hold on.
All right,
Me and
okay.
my earbud came out here. Okay, I'm back now.
All right, okay. Is there anything you want to share that I haven't asked you
Oh
about?
my goodness.
I definitely want you to share the link to your website so people can get on your list. But
Okay.
anything else you want to share or say?
Just follow your heart, ladies and gentlemen. I would tell you, follow your heart. You may say, well, how do you do that? Um, when it's something you would do and you can't, like, for instance, you have to make yourself stop doing it. Nobody is paying you for it.
Mhm.
You would do it no matter what. You spend your last dime doing it. That's how you know that's what you're supposed to be doing. When when you have to make yourself go to bed so you can go to sleep because you just really want to keep doing it. Because my husband will tell you, I literally will fall asleep with the laptop in my lap, and I will, and it's because I truly enjoy it. I truly enjoy it. So I would tell you, whatever that thing is, then that's what you need to be doing.
Where
That's
can
all it is.
where can someone find you? Where can they find you and get on?
Okay. The website is marydwelch.com, but you can email me if you would like to email me personally. You can email me at mary@marydwelch.com. And that's my email too.
MaryDWelch.com website,
Hmm.
or send her an email at
Yep.
Mary
Mary. Hmm.
at MaryDWelch.com.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what you've tapped into?
What's
Something
that?
so powerful. Simplicity.
Yep.
That
Yep.
is so simple and so clean. I'll
Hmm.
remember that just by memory. Mary at marydwelch.com.
Yeah.
Plus, I was talking to a copywriting coach the other day, and he's been in this space 15, 20 years maybe. He said, looking back, there's one thing I wish I had done, and that was I wish I had established a one domain
Hmm.
that was my main domain.
Yep.
You got that already.
Yeah.
marydwelch.com. Your name
Hmm.
forever.
Everybody should own their name. I would tell anybody that. Own your name because once those domains are gone, it's hard to get them back. But I bought the name, my grandchildren, I bought all their names because they're little, or not, well, they're bigger now, they're not as little, but I did buy them for them and I will turn it over to them. But now they already have it because domains are starting to cost more and more money too.
Yeah, yeah. It's the internet.
Yeah.
time we're in.
Intellectual property. But I want to thank you, Dr. Jones, too. You have been very, very influential in my life.
Mhm.
And I mean that. I know we first met, it was on what's Periscope. That's how we met. I would come on and watch your shows on Periscope. So when we met in person, I already felt like I knew you from
Okay.
Periscope.
Yeah.
So just know that you have influenced many of the things I've done. So just you have, so if you've influenced me, you've influenced our entire family. So thank you.
Oh, I want to thank you. I shared with the group earlier how what a phenomenal mastermind client you've been, just a person, a stand-up person throughout the years that we've been working together, how your positivity, your character, people, it's not easy to find people with great character out here who just gonna shoot.
Mm,
You are a person of high character. And what you see with Mary D. Welch is what you get. And her husband, Oliver. They are authentic, they are genuine, and she's real. And I think that's why your list is growing so strongly, is because of the people feel the realness of Mary.
mm,
Okay. And
thank
I
you.
feel it. I felt it from the moment that I met you, it was just,
No.
it's like you just a real person. So, and it has just carried on. So I'm excited. Okay?
Mm,
I could go on and on. All
all
right,
right.
Coach Mary, thank you though so much for this
You're
time.
welcome. You're
I'll
welcome. You're
tell
welcome.
Hey, I'll let you know when this goes live on YouTube, and I'll just send you the link, and then you can send it to your people if you choose to. Okay. I'll explain
Okay.
to you how
All
you need
righty.
to do it.
All
Blessings to
right.
you. Thank you here, Mary. Okay.
You're welcome. All
Take
right. Take
care.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.